religious institutions promote sexism through marriage and abortion ideology, changing God's gender won't fix that. The Church of Sweden is pushing back against one of the most universal assumptions among organized religion the world over, that the supreme deity is male. While I salute the sentiment, let's not pretend that this is what we need in order to make religious institutions less overtly misogynist and reactionary. The Church of Sweden is well known for its liberal attitudes. In 2009 it appointed the first openly lesbian bishop in the world, and it would be heartening to see other religious institutions around the world follow its lead. But such nominal changes in God's so-called gender pale in comparison to the ingrained inequality that all forms of Christianity, overtly or not, support. We mustn't see this move as a sign that organized religion is becoming more liberal. Marriage, for example, remains a central tenet of most religions. In fact, it's often what drives lapsed Christians back to the church, the fact that they've been indoctrinated to believe that their romantic relationship is less meaningful if they don't spend tens of thousands of pounds on a stuffy ceremony where they swear to be together forever. In the words of the endlessly relevant Bridget Jones, is it 1 in 4 marriages which end in divorce now or 1 in 3? In fact it's currently about 1 in every 2.38 in the UK, so make of that what you will. From the virginal white dress and, even creepier, veil, to being given away from one man to another, renouncing your identity in the form of your name, promising to obey, and the men giving speeches while the women are told how pretty they look, I'm not sure there's a more sexist event one could endorse except maybe a Proud Boys meet-up. Despite how much a couple can reimagine or subvert traditional weddings, the Church's endorsement of marriage as a concept, which originated from the idea of women being property, is a sign of how little organized Christianity is willing to accept its role in promoting gender inequality. If churches want to be seen as truly progressive, they should scrap the idea of marriage altogether. And if people still need their love life validated, we can replace it with a new institution that's not rooted in patriarchal tradition and accepts its real role, to make people feel good about themselves and nothing more. Christianity's attitude towards sex as purely a vehicle to baby making is equally as sexist. A man can't really make a baby without an orgasm, whereas a woman's pleasure is entirely dispensable. These are the 5 most addictive substances in the world. Pretty Little Thing keeps sending people ridiculously long trousers. Lingerie brand has glorious response to being bashed for using a gender-fluid model. Do I even need to mention abortion and the fact that the vast majority of religious institutions place more value on the potential life of a bunch of non-viable cell clusters than they do on women's right to have autonomy over their own bodies? Perhaps that would be a better place to start if we're looking to emulate the Church of Sweden, which has pushed for other religious institutions to accept abortion, rather than worrying about whether or not God has a pronoun. Modernizing the church in small ways is fine, but it doesn't get to the root of the issue. As liberals, feminists, LGBTQ+ allies, and promoters of equality, we must think about what our presence as part of organized religion does. It perpetuates reactionary views which exist to oppress. After all, a silenced woman is an unquestioning one, and that's what churches want. I cannot begrudge anyone their individual spirituality, but abandoning these institutions, which have nothing to do with faith and everything to do with promoting socio-economic structures that benefit the patriarchy, should be the first step in achieving true equality. More, Hillary Clinton proved how relevant she is to young women today with her London talk. More, I never thought I'd agree with Grant Shapps, but he's right about one thing, it's time to get rid of Theresa May. More, keep your capsule wardrobes. I had to get rid of 95% of my clothes and it was harder than I ever imagined.